do. What is going on, everybody? First episode of August. How are we in August already? I feel like the year is flying by at some ridiculous rate. But it's all good. We are back, Digipreneur Live, and we have another interesting and insightful, informative, action-packed episode for you guys. Tonight, it's all about Caribbean exportation. Getting Caribbean-made products into the international markets. Taking our businesses online, getting our products out there, building our brands. And we have none other than a platform that's going to help you do it. Because one of the biggest challenges that we face is for the regular, small, medium-sized businesses, the micro businesses, being able to get their products online. But then you also have to deal with the payments. Then you got to deal with the logistics side of it. And not everybody either has the know-how or wants to be able to, learn how to string and put all of these pieces together to get their business in a nice orderly fashion so that the customer experience is a good one. So nonetheless, my name is Keron Rose. If this is your first time tuning in, I thank you for joining the program. Folks, you guys know how we do. If you are inside the program tonight, please show yourself. Let me know that you guys are here. The first comment from tonight. Listen, I need to know how to say your name. I want to say it's Tiny. It could be Tine. It could be Teeny, Tiny. I'm guessing now. But good night. How are you? I hope all is well. You guys definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know that you guys are here. Let me know where you guys are watching from. We got to do our roll call. Are you watching from Grenada? Are you watching from Guyana, St. Vincent, St. Kitts? Are you in Jamaica? Are you in Trinidad and Tobago? Are you in the US? Are you in Canada? Are you in the UK? Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? You see? Good. Tanessa. Good night, Tanessa. Glad you cleared that up for me. Michelle Baptiste. Good night. First time, Michelle. Glad to have you live in the program. Squeeze Cash. Vinci Massive inside tonight. Demetrius is checking in from Yard. Yes. I gotta go to Yard. I need to get some jerk chicken. But this lockdown, they locked all the good yardies with the jerk chicken outside of Trinidad. I need to get some real jerk chicken in my system. I gotta visit Yard before this year is done. So once again, if you guys are now tuning in tonight, it's all about Caribbean exportation, learning how to get our products, our Caribbean-made products, into the international markets, learning how to earn US dollars for your products. We're also going to be talking about Amazon. Amazon made their announcement last month that they are here in the Caribbean. We're going to be talking about, the opportunities that they present, but alongside some of the gaps and the pitfalls that Amazon comes with. And the CEO for the company we're interviewing tonight, they sit in a really good place to not just get your products, but there are areas where those who are going to be unable or who can't figure out how to leverage the Amazon platform, and maybe they don't have the financial resources to get their products onto the Amazon platform and deal with everything that comes with Amazon. Their company is really situated to pick up a lot of that slack. All right. So, folks, without further ado, I want to bring to the stage the CEO of Carob Shopper, the #1 exporting company for Caribbean micro, small, and medium businesses for products into the international markets. Let's welcome to the stage Cadian Preston, CEO of Carob Shopper.
Do that again. I love that, Keron. Go ahead. Drop the bomb. All right.
Bro, what's going on, man?
The vibes is here tonight, my friend.
Yo, of course, man. Anytime we go live, the vibes. But you see now the vibes are 10x because the man them like Katie and Preston reach, they touch down. I want to thank you. I want to start off by just thanking you for carving out time out of your busy schedule to come in and chat with us on this topic because it's a big one. And given the fact that we are still in the pandemic and we have many of businesses trying to figure out what's next, what can they do, and we have so many Caribbean made products just here just here, people are trying to figure out, this online game and how to get their products, outside of just their community, but expand that conversation to some of the global markets. And I mean, you've been on the forefront championing and building out a platform to be able to do that. So again, I thank you for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, let's start off with, how has the pandemic, been for you? Whatever as you as an entrepreneur, because I mean, you don't just wake up and say, "Yo, this is the problem I'm going to solve." So, like, what has it been like? What has this pandemic? What kind of opportunities has it presented for you? What gaps have you seen, and within your own passions, how have you looked at this pandemic and the gaps, and how do you feel about filling it?
So interesting story, Keron. And since we're on here and it's just me and you, let's get into it. Story time now, right? Carob Shopper started way before the pandemic. We focused on in 2019. My co-founder and my brother, we looked at what we call Project Grow Local. And we started working our way through the Caribbean, meeting with merchants, meeting with product makers all over from Jamaica, Trinidad, you name it. And it was to understand their challenges, right? Because one thing, Karen, you lived away in Canada for a little bit. I live here in Miami. Before that, I lived in New York. Um, it's hard staying close to your culture. It's hard getting your cultural products, especially living in certain areas. If you're in Toronto, cool. If you're in New York, cool. If you're in Miami, cool. But if you lived in the city, New York City, you gotta take a train uptown or downtown to get those Caribbean products, right?
Facts,
It's not
facts,
happening, right?
facts.
And for far too long, um, people who have fell in love with the Caribbean and what it has to offer in our amazing product and our culture,
Hmm.
more importantly, our culture, can't get it outside of home.
Right,
And the problem that we are trying to solve is deeper than just the commerce aspect of it, right?
right,
I grew up in a household where my mom was an entrepreneur, and I saw firsthand what it took to grow outside of your border, right?
right,
And the challenges around that. So we started in 2019. In December, funny story, after doing a lot of product market fit study, um, in December, we went full steam ahead. We hired our head of logistics, which was interestingly my mentor at the time. He was a big guy at UPS, and he had built out the whole cross-border e-commerce with Alibaba in the US, and so he had a lot of experience on cross-border sides.
right,
And I started talking to him just about the challenges of the Caribbean, and he said, "Listen, I want to work with you guys. I want to tackle that challenge." And that was a big move for me. I mean, I didn't expect that. I wanted to get a recommendation from him on who would be a great candidate for the position. He said him.
right,
And from there, it just kickstarted the movement. And I got to tell you, we were scared when the pandemic hit and the shutdown started to happen. And in the Caribbean, more than anywhere else, they shut down hard. Borders were locked. Movement was slowed down. The fear was impacting. And at that point, we were in the stages of building. So our build out looks like onboarding merchants and bringing products on the platform, and that was hectic in
right,
in March. It was very hectic. I mean, it took us from March till probably November to get up to 300 merchants with over 2,000 products in in almost a whole year, 9 months. So facing the pandemic was a challenge, and we had to do everything remotely. We had to meet, explain to merchants what we do, how we can benefit them as a new company, as a startup, just trying to bring manufacturers into the digital age. It wasn't easy, and we had to work like pirates to get it done. So, when we did our beta launch in December, it was a good feeling to start
Right.
seeing the till going off. And I should have took a picture of the first sale that happened on the platform, but I didn't. But
You
we
always
find a
remember
way.
that first sale.
You got to remember that first sale because that's the first win.
Yeah.
It's 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 just you know and now to be where we are, where we're maturing, and the growth is impacting in 2021, is just awesome. It's awesome feeling,
No,
and it's
that's
hard work, but we're at it.
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, the work never could never be stated enough. You made a point that I don't want to just bypass, right? Because I spent 29 years of my life is Toronto, and that's pretty much the majority of what I know, right? But I don't want I don't want us to bypass this. When you talk about the lack of access to Caribbean goods in the US, right? What are some of these sentiments that people express in the US when it comes to the lack, of getting these Caribbean goods? What are some of the things that, people say when we have to go hunting for the goods?
No, man, it's pure joy, right? It's a relief, it's excitement, it brings happiness.
Right.
um we post up some of the consumer sentiments, and you can see it, um in our customer success division, just seeing how excited people are just to get something as their favorite cheese, or
Yeah.
their favorite hair product, or food, or whatever it is. So um you definitely get a satisfaction, but I think the biggest satisfaction for me, Keron, and I think this goes unsaid, it's the Caribbean. For far too long, we struggle with cultural confidence, right? And if you've been around, you'll notice that they're amazing product makers. We can talk about them from now till tomorrow,
Right.
who can only sell in their local market, and they believe they can't expand behind their borders when they
Right.
have customers who love their product, who want their product, people who have visited, whether it's for carnival or it's to the beaches in Jamaica or whatever it is, and tried their product by just association,
Right.
and can't get it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But it's to see the excitement on the merchants that changes the
Mm.
game for us. I remember
Right.
a couple 2 months ago, we had or less, we had our first merchant success, meet the merchants, session, where we brought in our merchants to talk about the new developments of Carob Shopper, and what we're doing for them, and how we're going to enhance their growth, and you brought in some speakers who are actual merchants, who had various experiences, and just to hear our impact, and how it made them feel. that
Right.
was that was the win for us, because this would be a community that wouldn't normally get their products into the hands of international people living in Hawaii or Nebraska, where we have
Right.
shipped to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the win right there. The consumers, that's the brata, but the win is
The
get that
merchants.
product. Yep, that didn't have travel coming in for COVID, and is
Right.
now selling to a U.S. consumer.
Right.
And in December we open up, and tested the Canadian market, or getting their products into Canada.
Right.
That's the win right there, my brother.
Oh,
That's the good feeling. That's the
that's
good.
huge. That's huge because I tell you this, yo, growing up in Toronto, I've had to drive 45 minutes to get Jamaican beef patties because there's nowhere to get the products. If there was a service like this, just a few years ago before I moved to Trinidad, I would have been one of the biggest shoppers on the platform. People, because we have, I mean, you're in the Caribbean, you're in Trinidad, you're in Jamaica. So I mean, our products are readily available for us to get, right? But how many times, and I think everybody here in the Caribbean can relate to this. How many times has your family member flew into Jamaica, flew into Trinidad and Tobago, and they bring a additional suitcase to pack as many goods into their suitcases to carry back up to last them as long as they can, because it's not even just about the product. It's a piece of home.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a piece of home. I think every single time my mom gets some Julie mango or some red mango, and it's brought in from somebody that came in from Trinidad, or her friends went over to Jamaica and brought her some stuff. The first thing she always says is, I remember the first time I had red mango, or I ate, 10 pounds of it, or some ludicrous story. It always reminds people back of home, and it takes them back to a place. So it's more than just the product. People living away want that taste, want that sentiment of being home. And I think what you've been able to build, where now people can get a taste of home delivered to their door, is a huge win for the consumers that are away and they're homesick. But for the merchants, I mean, we're going to dive into that because this is really a business show. But for the merchants, this changes everything. This changes everything.
Yeah, and so we talk about just the separation. Carob Shopper has been very deliberate in how we go about everything. So if you were to classify us, what kind of marketplace we are, we're a cultural commerce. We're cultural commerce, right?
Right.
Our goal is to inspire cultural confidence, right? So many times, like you told me the story of that young lady who was making I'm trying to remember that product that you were telling me, and she was trying to do her own website and everything like that, but
Probably soaps.
yeah, soaps. There you go, right?
Yeah.
By the way, beauty products, you guys better get on that. That's a big ticket item, right? And um you know to get listed on Carib Shopper and sell to our first international customer, that's huge for her, right?
Right.
Home she could do on our own. So we were very deliberate that we're only export, right?
Right.
We were very deliberate that we were only working with the merchants, the manufacturers themselves,
Right.
right? Because we wanted that deep-seated relationship in order to help them to grow. Because our mission is that if we make them successful, by association we become successful,
Right.
and that has to stay true through everything that we do. So
Right.
we're not Amazon where you can be an influencer, you can resell somebody else's product. Um, you know, we provide a turnkey solution that helps the merchant from even like consulting with our merchandising team to on your labeling, on how your positioning, on your product description. We know how critical this is in e-commerce, and it's things that in developing this market, Keron, which you know very well, because I have to applaud you on what you've been doing in playing your part in the digital transformation. It's a new frontier, but it's a frontier that people have to take serious. It
Right.
goes down to even your product shots. And, as we started getting into it, we had to do we do product shots for our merchants, because that's a specialty in itself. It's not just somebody who can
Correct.
shoot a good looking picture of Keron. It's a product shot is specific, and people buy with their eyes, right? People buy with their eyes, then what they can see, what they can feel, and then what they can smell. So at the end of the day, you have to position yourself to win, right? And we've
Yeah.
been teaching merchants how to do that. And
Yeah.
we've been doing it ourselves. And that's a cost to us, but it's a part of the growth. It's a part of the transformation, right? Secondly, on top of that, how we deal with our merchants, and how we we've made certain we've understand their challenges, and how we're catering to that.
Right.
It's a more turnkey relationship than the big giant out there, Amazon. And my point to that is, I'm not trying to compete with Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon has its role, and I'm happy they finally came to the Caribbean 20 years later, right? Right?
Right.
I'm really, really happy about that, because
Right.
for Mia Motley said this in one of her best speeches, which was done like last year. And I'm a big fan of her. She talks about what the Caribbean needs is cultural confidence. And anybody who haven't watched um, that press conference that me and Motley did, um, please YouTube the what is it? It was to the
That's what she talked
IT.
about Peter Menschel, and she was going
Yeah,
into
that's what
right.
she talked
Yes,
about.
yes,
Peter
yes.
mentioned. Yep.
That
But she
that that
spoke
speech
about
was
yeah, that speech was killer.
yeah.
But she spoke significantly about cultural confidence, right?
Mhm.
And the need for it in all our islands, and the diversity of our culture and how strong it is internationally, right?
Right.
And our vulnerabilities in, whether oil being our product, and the oil game is changing, and Trinidad and the world is seeing that today,
Yeah.
right? Um, for Jamaica, tourism is changing. COVID showed the fragility of that industry, right? But if you go back to the 70s, right, we were big makers or farmers or makers, and it's taking these assets and transforming them, and taking them into the digital world that we are today is going to be the transformative moves for the Caribbean. We
Yeah.
see it happening right now.
Yeah.
It was forced on us by COVID, but if
Yeah.
if if that movement still goes, Keron Rose, Alwyn Wayne, Quick Cash, Squeeze Cash, all these technology companies that are creating opportunities. No, it's going to be transformative, and our future is tied to that.
Yes.
So our role in that is to make exports simple, right? That
Mm.
all the manufacturer has to focus on is making their product. Do a good job at that.
Right.
We will do the rest,
Right.
right? And if you're a reseller, if you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, Amazon, go Amazon,
Yeah.
right? Because you can apply to become a merchant, but you're not our demographic. You're
Right.
not our. So I stress that point because at the core, we all have to focus on cultural confidence, and we all have to look at what this new society, the new economy that we're dealing with, and how we partake of it. We can't
Yeah.
be sitting at the same table and expecting greater results. We have to improve. So the transformative era of the digital revolution of the Caribbean is big to me and dear to my heart. And to be a part of it right now
Yeah.
is satisfying.
Yeah. And it's so crazy. When we talk about, cultural confidence, I remember listening to that Mia Motley speech, and I was shocked and amazed because I'm like, yo, I can't relate to some of these things because growing up in Canada, all anybody ever wanted to be was Caribbean. The Caribbean folks were always the trendsetters. So to hear, another side, another perspective talking about we lack the cultural perspective blew my mind because half the Caucasian folks walk around speaking patois or
They
trying
want to
to
be
speak
cool.
patois. They
They
want to be
want to be
cool.
cool.
They want
They
to be
want to be
cool,
cool.
right?
They want to be cool.
When fetes are happening, when Caravana is happening, when the New York Caravana parade is going on, it's not just Caribbean folks. We are a percentage
Yeah.
in these festivals.
Yeah.
People want a piece of the Caribbean culture. We hear it in the music. We see it in the way people dress.
Hmm.
We see it in the mannerisms. So again, I grew up in that. I grew up as, we always looked at the Caribbean to set the trend. So again, it's
Right.
just when I heard the speech from Mia Motley, I was sitting here confused. Like, what do you mean we need Caribbean confidence? We in Toronto, we in Canada, we in North America, we adore the Caribbean. We're trying to eat up everything that they give us. But the fact that you have people in our region who don't see that or don't understand or don't know just how bad we are wanted and needed outside of the region, again, it's going to be scary when people start to get that cultural confidence that we are talking about.
Yeah, man. That's the kicker, right? When we get that, and when that settles in, that's gonna be um just a game changer, right? If you think about it, when I talk to the team, and when we talk to our partners, it's not just the diaspora,
Mm,
right? We have a greater market outside of that, right? A serious story. We connected with a chef in New York that does chocolate pairings and tastings and
Right.
has a whole Zoom thing going on and has a whole bunch of people signed up for training and learning and tasting and they reached out to us, from a conference and they said, Chef Tova said, I want to try Caribbean chocolate. And we got Caribbean chocolate, we got Trinity chocolate, we got Jamaican chocolate, we sent her a bunch of chocolate, and that call, she was like, "Oh my God, some of the best chocolate I've ever had."
Right.
Blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah. And this is a demo. This is a demographic. That's not Caribbean. It
Right.
is different demographic, right? That's now coming up. That's now going to be introduced to our chocolate or Caribbean made product and think it's the bomb. Just like they think soca is the happiest music alive and bomb. Just like they think reggae is everything. It's transient and it's also attractive. And
Mm.
and if and if merchants, you know, understand that you can grow outside of our culture, right? That's our goal. We
Yeah.
want we want everybody to know about the awesomeness of the Caribbean, not
Yeah.
just our beaches, not just our parties, not just our music, but also our products.
I love
Everybody has a role in life, and that's ours.
I love it. I love it. Folks, if you guys are tuning in to the Digipreneur Live show and you're here live with us, please let me know in the chats. Let me know. Drop some flames. Let me know that you guys are here. Let me know that you guys are enjoying the chat so far. We have much more to talk about, Katie and Preston, but we're just checking in with you guys. Let us know that you guys are here. Just drop some flames in the chat just to let us know. You guys give us the energy. We give you guys back the energy, and this is how that relationship happens. You guys want to stick around to a bit later on because the phone lines are going to be opened up to take questions, and you guys will be able to ask your questions live. So you don't want to miss that out, right? All right, so Kadian, let's get into some of the nitty gritty. Let's talk some business because for the most part, the people that tune into the Digipreneur platform are looking to take their businesses to the next level, and they're micro, they're medium. Heck, we even have government agencies pre and demand them. So
Right.
everybody tunes in, right? So one of the things I kind of want your perspective of is, what are some of the challenges that you see that Caribbean entrepreneurs face when it comes to getting their products into the U.S. market? What are some of those roadblocks that happen that kind of, put hurdles in the process and people just say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to sell on the corner. What are some of the challenges that we have to go through when exporting our products?
So one big problem that we've noticed and we're trying to um, solve for it is branding and owning your product image.
Mm,
Not only that, right, but merchants have feel they have a lack of resources. Feel, and I use the word feel, right? So I give you an example. We've noticed that specific products come in a similar size bottle or
right,
similar size packaging, and that's because it's what's imported and already there in that island,
right,
right? Not till digging in, like, why this looks so familiar, like why this, even there's a different kind of, why that bottle looks so familiar. But
right.
it's what the local distributor carries, and they
Mm-hmm.
stock that, right? And in this digital world, you could jump on Alibaba. I know Keron is gonna have an episode, and you can jump on Alibaba, find the product you want, read up on that, the the comments and statistics of that product. Get a test, like it. If you don't like it, order it, receive it, build your product, and you could do that on repeat because the
Right,
same product you're buying local that is not, that you don't have separation on, right? Is the same one that your competitor is buying, right? And
right.
so people need to showcase the strength of their brand. The other day I bought my favorite pepper sauce, and I know I'm going to get cussed out for this, but
Tell
Bertie's
us.
is the best, right?
Bertie's?
Bertie's is the best pepper sauce.
All
Bert,
right, all right, all right.
right?
So I got to check this out.
And Bertie's,
Yeah,
and so Bertie's has a 3-pack, and I was very impressed with their packaging.
right.
Very, very impressed with their packaging, right? No disrespect to any other manufacturers on the platform, but I was just impressed. I'm using this as an example,
Right.
right? So it very impressed with their packaging, right? Clear, packaged well, um, you know, well done.
Right.
And if we start taking that cultural confidence, that understanding that we can, you know, create not only good products, but we can make them, you know, competitive with our eyes, with the consumer's eyes involved, changes the game. Changes the game.
So one of the big questions that I often ask, because I know when like when you're in the States, when you're in Canada, when you're in the UK, there's a lot of places for you to go to learn how to build a proper brand, especially when it comes to creating a product-based brand, right? What do you think needs to happen in the Caribbean for us to start to, one, pay attention to our branding on our products, but where can we go to learn how to build a better product, or at least the branding of the product? Where can we go to learn?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube. I mean, the World Encyclopedia, right?
Mm,
I'm hoping that, I mean, and please give me a perspective on this, Keron.
yeah.
I'm hoping that you know just having a conversation with our head of marketing, and a lot of these programs, not bashing again, but this is a real show. So if you don't
Yeah.
like what's said, it is what it is.
It is
A
what it
lot of
is.
It is what it is. A lot of the investments from different um, non-for-profits that have been around in the Caribbean for a while have been focused on areas, I think, that are not practical, right? So you hear that the Development Bank has done this, and the International Development Bank has done that, and this has done, but they don't have a direct impact on the problem, right?
Correct.
It just talks about the trees. It doesn't get into the weeds, and we have to get into the weeds,
Yeah.
right? All of these associations that have received grants, have received support. Let's 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 really do something like right now. I'm very impressed with what the team at Nudge is doing, right?
Mm,
In Trinidad,
right.
they're focused on the micro entrepreneur, right? The
Right.
person that has an idea and, and
Right.
and wants to take that to the market, and they're helping with branding and different things. And I'm sure there's other small programs out there, but these programs are not getting the dollars and the support they need to stay alive and to keep growing,
Right.
right? And to really be supported. And of course, in this world that we live in, if you really want to do something, you can find it. You can find that information. Go to the encyclopedia. It's called YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest challenges, though, and this is something and this is really where I got my start, was as much as we have tons of information available to us, I want to say maybe 60 to 70%, while good, the information needs to be localized, and we don't have enough entities across the Caribbean, creating localized information. And it's scary when you're going to some of these institutions and you're trying to figure out, yo, how do I process payments? And the people you're talking to are like, but you guys, you're working for the company that offers the product and service that we need to grow our business. So as much as there is a lot of information out there, we get a lot of information from the US markets, and that also leads us down the wrong path. We get a good idea as to what should happen and what it should look like. But then we
Right.
also need more institutions across the region starting to put out that information and create a resource center for whatever the space is, for Caribbean entrepreneurs to be able to come and learn and really excel, because we don't have it. You Google
Right.
most things you Google comes up with a US content and not something
True.
that's properly built for our market. So I think that's
Very true.
definitely a big gap for us,
That is a very big gap. That is a
Kadian,
very, yes,
so
sir.
let's dive into some of Carob Shopper stuff. So let walk us through what are the key areas that Carob Shopper is looking to solve, because as much as we're talking about exporting, and we kind of touched on some of the issues that people face along with getting their products in, Carob Shopper does a whole lot more than just getting your product into the market. So what are some of the key areas that Carob Shopper helps businesses get their product to market?
Cool. So, outside of being a marketplace and being the number one destination for Caribbean made products, right? And so giving the merchant a place where they can sell their products easily,
Right?
we help with the complete onboarding, product imagery, product description, the whole 9 yards to make you e-commerce ready. We also, right, set you up that you're able to, receive your payments in US dollars. We're introducing some new supportive services where we even, I don't want to talk about it yet, but we're getting ready to launch it. But just look at it this way, that we're looking, again, we're going back to the mission of the company.
Right?
And when you're a s- when you're the head cook and bottle washer of a company, right? Putting in these hours, you you have to always keep yourself accountable. And me keeping myself accountable is, how do we make the merchant successful?
Right.
Once you stay true to that, right? I don't care if it's Amazon, I don't care if it's eBay, I don't care if it's Alibaba. We will have our own niche in the market, and the trueness of that for us is helping the merchant all throughout the process
Right.
in getting e-commerce ready and selling their products internationally. So we handle logistics, right? They don't
Talk
have to
about
pay for
it. Talk about
they
it.
don't, they don't have to pay for logistics. They don't have to
Wow.
pay for payment processing. We handle all of that too, right? We do the fulfillment of your product. We handle the customer service with issues. Unless the product that is fulfilled from your team is bad or spoiled,
Right.
we handle all of that. And we also handle getting your money in your hands in US dollars. Once you have a US account or an instrument that we can pay in US dollars, because that has been a problem for us.
So
You'd be surprised.
let's talk
Along
about that. Let's highlight this. Let's slow that down, because I need people to understand this, right?
Mhm.
These are some of the critical issues that Caribbean businesses face on a day-to-day basis. When I go through my channels, my inboxes, my emails, my DMs, a lot of it is questions around problems that you are solving. So the big one is, one, how do I get my business online? Do I go via a website? Do I join a marketplace, but they're a product-based business? Two, so you're solving getting your business online, because Carib Shopper, you're going to be able to have your online store. You're going to have a link. People can go to that link and shop whatever products you have. The second big thing is the payments. Oh God, I fed up. I'm not fed up. I'm just joking. But I fed up of all you asking me about payments. But it's a major problem. It is. Listen, 1 in 3 messages I get is a payments question. And it's such a big issue, because again, there's a lack of information in the space. And then what you're starting to realize is that, because a lot of the employees at the institutions are not entrepreneurs themselves, they don't understand the gravity of the gravity of getting this payment thing solved, and allowing people to understand how to take their business online and receive payments, right? So the fact that you guys are solving the payments, so once they are on the Carob Shopper platform, they have the store. Second thing, when people can pay you, you don't have to fret. You don't have to worry about how you are receiving the money or integrating a payment processor. Because what happens too is that you have people that are building their websites, and they build it on a platform that is not Caribbean ready. You might have access to it. So like a great one, for example, is Squarespace. You can use Squarespace, no problem. If you're building, an information website, great. But we do not have a Caribbean-made payment processor that integrates into the platform. So getting paid is a problem. And you'll hear people jump on YouTube, watch a US content creator talk about how they've built this e-commerce business, go down that road, spend time, spend money, and then realize, wait a minute, I can't get paid. So Carob
Right.
Shopper is solving that problem for payments.
Right.
Third,
Big one.
logistics.
The big one.
Logistics.
The big one.
Logistics.
The big one.
That is and let's kind of dive into that. So, what about the products? Because I would imagine, and you're gonna have more information about this than me, like how hard is it to really solve the logistics issue for Caribbean businesses in Trinidad and Tobago and in Jamaica? How hard is that problem to solve?
I mean, there are various challenges that we've had to go through, right? Outside of building the logistic infrastructure that we have today, making sure that your product can be shipped to a door, right? There are many regulations that we have to go through. We have a 3.2 days of turnaround on delivering our product out of the region to any
Wow.
door, right? And that
3.2. Wow.
3.2, yep, I'm proud of it. Let's go.
Wow.
So it takes the commitment of the merchant.
Right.
It takes us understanding. Just to give an example, I sit on the logistics and trade board for the city of Miami-Dade. So I speak to the Port Authority regularly. Weekly, I have meetings with them, and that's
Right.
strategic, right? That's
Right.
strategic in understanding the regulations, in moving, in being able to get things done, right? Um, as I said, more exciting things to come. I mean, we've tested, cold storage. Caribshopper is moving cold storage product now.
Wow.
Now, and that's not even. I mean, big story. I mean, we have a DHL partnership out of DHL e-commerce division, and we have a FedEx partnership, and we also have a UPS partnership.
Right.
And we have a couple more to come. But I remember sitting down with the director of Latin America for FedEx and saying, listen, man, I need to send patties all over the world. I need to send ice cream all over the world.
Africans want their patties,
Yeah, I need to send breadfruit wherever, man.
Yeah.
What would make me happy if I can buy doubles off of Main Street in TT. No, that would just make me very happy. I look at companies like Goldbelly,
Yeah.
right? That in the US that will ship your favorite food product anywhere,
Right.
anywhere.
Right.
Like, Junior's Cheesecake. I can buy Junior's Cheesecake in New York. I have it shipped to my door on Goldbelly, right?
Wow.
So why can't Carob Shopper do that? So
Right.
we're pushing the envelopes,
Right.
and it's not without challenge. It's not without, but the greatest victory is on the other side of a great challenge. So
Yeah.
the higher it steps up, we got to step up to that challenge, and we got to get over that fence, right?
Right.
And that's what us as Caribbean people has been built on. It's been built on. We've been built on breaking through the barriers that have been put before us.
Right. Is there a limit to what can be exported? Like, so, like, let's say if you have people making some, furniture, like, what's the limit that you guys can export to some of these countries?
So we're getting. So now you're getting me real excited. Like, we're covering 6 categories today, and we want to expand that, right? I wanna be the place you go for Caribbean art. I want to be the place you go for these amazing mahogany furniture that I see all the time on Instagram. That I want to put in my house and I can't do it, right?
Right.
So we're improving our logistic presence, right, in order to support that growth.
Right.
There's a company I've been courting for a while that I want their products, and they make some really cool stuff. And maybe one day when I have Keron money, I can go buy some. But before then, I'll just keep admiring them. Their coffee desks and coffee tables and stuff like that. But the goal, right? The goal is that with our success, a 19-year-old coming out of school
Right.
doesn't have to make the decision to migrate to have a career. If they
Yes.
have a skill, they can make it. The brain drain stops, right? They know they can live on their in their home country and make a living, right? It doesn't have
Mm.
to be, you don't have to, migrate like Keron did, you know what I mean? Go to Canada and just to make some money. But look at you. You're back home and you're showing them that through digital transformation you can make money. You're making money at the comfort of your home. You
Yeah.
understand? You and chicken are right there.
Yeah.
Making
Yo, my mom's watching this right now, and I'm sure she's probably just laughing because we talk about it all the time. She
yeah,
laughs and she's like, we moved up to Canada in '87 or
yeah,
'88. What 87?
yeah.
And I was there for 29 years, and she moved over there for a better life, and I'm back in Trinidad for a better life.
There
It's
you go.
it's just crazy how everything worked. But again, that point that you made about the brain drain stopping, it's tools like this that are going to be able to bring back the talent. Because I kid you not, when I just moved here, I remember connecting to my aunt's Wi-Fi, and Netflix was buffering. And I was like, yo, if Netflix is buffering, that means we don't have internet speed for my needs. I might just have to go back on a plane and go back to Toronto.
Yeah,
But steadily over the last few years, since 2016, well, at least here in Trinidad, because I understand it was a bit earlier in Jamaica, but in 2016, we finally got fiber internet. So we finally are getting speeds over 100 megabits per second here in Trinidad. You can get up to almost a gigabit in Trinidad.
yeah,
That wasn't the case pre-2016. So the
yeah. That's a big
things that we are now able to do because of the technology, when you have the telco companies that are pushing the envelope and they're making the investment into the technology infrastructure, there are things that we could do now that have only been available to us in the past couple of years that were never available to us before. And I mean, even when you look at a company like shout out to Aldwin, when you look at WePay started what, 2016?
Yeah,
So pre-2016, we were struggling to get paid online. But
yeah,
the gap is closing on being able to make money from the comfort of our home. So when I talk to people, my perspective is, somebody that grew up in Canada and has moved back to the Caribbean, and I want to showcase to people that, yo, we have a cheaper cost of living here in the Caribbean. You guys can move back, be here. We have the technology to be able to, whether it's we're creating digital products or monetizing online, or if you guys want to get into physical product making, you now have tools like a Carob Shopper where you guys can earn a living right from here and live that, modern Caribbean lifestyle and have more money and have more respect. Because, I mean, you of all people know it, being a person of color in North America has its challenges, especially when
sure.
you're an entrepreneur. I mean, we don't have to dive into it, but have you yourself, has that been a challenge for you, or is that something that you haven't really had to deal with, being a person of color in North America and building a business?
Bang, 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 connect.
That goes without saying. That, that's
Yeah,
that's that's a given, my brother. That's a
yeah,
given. I Quick story. I remember I was out in San Francisco pitching to a venture capitalist, and we're talking about the Caribbean. He's like, the beaches, like
right.
you want to raise money for the beaches? I'm like, you know,
Right,
I got nothing else to say, brother.
right.
I got nothing else to say. You know, but
Yeah,
it's that's a given.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
given.
Nah.
That's a given.
And these are some of the conversations that we don't really have. So when you hear a lot of Caribbean folk that might have a business or they have a business, there's always that conversation of, what, I'm not making it in Jamaica, I'm not making it in Trinidad and Tobago or St. Vincent. I need to move to North America to be able to make it. And they don't realize, because they've never had to deal with it. They don't realize that, hey, you're moving into a place where people don't look like you. And there's a new challenge that you have to face when building a business.
Oh yeah, 99% of those people can't wait to move back home. They all struggling to move back home. Check it out. They just can't, because they're probably set already. Life is set. Kids isn't, all of this stuff. They can't move. But trust me, give them 5 years. They're like, I'm done. I want to be out.
Yeah, cool. No, and again, that's a conversation for a later date. But you know what? So we were talking Carob Shopper. So let's move over to Amazon. So Amazon made that big announcement that they are letting Caribbean countries. They are part of that new 85 rollout of new countries on the Amazon platform to start selling. So, as a fan, as a consumer, not as the CEO for Carob Shopper, but what does that mean? What is Amazon now giving people the opportunity in the Caribbean to sell on the platform? What does that mean for the Caribbean?
No, that's excellent for the Caribbean, right? So like I said, Amazon is what they are. It creates an opportunity for different types of businesses, different types of people in the Caribbean to now benefit from that digital transformation, right? Carob Shopper is focused on merchants, right? But if I lived in Jamaica right now, shoot, I could buy in this Olympics, I could buy the flags and sell them online, because people want to run up and down the street because we winning at Olympics right now.
Right.
Sell it right on Amazon, right to your door, right?
Right.
The challenges that are going to be there are still surmountable,
right.
But it's an excellent opportunity. I've seen chefs who are doing Amazon, what do you call them again? Influencers, right? Who are on their Instagram showing their recipes, and on their recipe there's a link to go buy the products they use in this dish. I mean, that's a vertical people weren't doing before. Right?
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's opportunity. And the big thing now, as you look at e-commerce, like what's happening is, so, look at it, history is the best teacher, right? So mom and pop stores popping up everywhere. Then the big box stores came, and then they took over, and then the big malls came, right, with the anchor brands coming in, and then the small stores occupying it. And now we're going to a different system where that's online, right? The big box, if you want to call it big box retailer, the Walmart of the 80s is now Amazon, right? Now they're allowing entrepreneurs to do direct to consumer. If you have a good track record, you could spin up a store on Amazon and sell t-shirts if you want to. If you have good designs yourself, without doing anything, you could write your book. You could sell it on Amazon, right? Yeah. You could be an influencer. You could buy products from Timbuktu and resell it on Amazon. You could, it's available. You could resell phones that you buy in Trinidad and sell it on Amazon, right? Chipsets. Right now, if you could get your hands on video cards over 512 gigabytes, you're making money, because every crypto guy is buying it, because everybody's mining. You could sell a video card. Like the funniest thing the other day I noticed, right? Yeah. Walked into Best Buy and I needed a video card. Nothing on the shelf. They're like, there's a black market going on with video cards like nobody's business, right? You could buy a video card for $200 and sell that back for $1,000. And that's the reality, right? And don't move from your desk, right? So that's just a game changer in itself, right? Yeah. But again, understanding the vehicle and working that vehicle in the race of life is what you have to do. So understanding the vehicle that you're entering into, right? And so I saw a question here. Does Carob Shopper charge, fees?
Yeah, I was saving that question, but go ahead, talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah, we don't charge a listing fee. Why? Because again, go back to our mission, right? Our mission is to help merchants be successful, manufacturers of product, no matter what it is, to be successful. We can't start burdening you before you start making money, right? Especially in times like this, um, and that assists in your growth, right?
Yeah.
If you're strong enough and you can, maintain an Amazon cost, go ahead. You can list on Amazon, list on us too. We don't care.
Right.
You understand? We want to help the Caribbean export. If that's gonna be with the influence of Amazon and what we do, we know what we do because we're localized in that market, right?
Yes.
And we know what Amazon does, and we
Yeah.
respect that. You understand?
Yeah.
And in many markets, just like the US, you have Amazon, you have Etsy, you have Fair, you have eBay, you have
Yes.
different players and different niches or niches specific,
Yeah.
right? But the Amazon coming to the Caribbean is huge, right?
Yeah.
And once they start localizing their service and where shipping is resolved and different things, no, you're talking about a digital transformation. What we've been talking about, cultural confidence changes,
Yeah.
and
That
that's big.
I think one of the things that had me excited about Amazon, most importantly, is the conversation that it's going to create. Because people who were never even thinking about e-commerce before, just hearing the name of Amazon coming in the Caribbean is now forcing people to kind of begin asking questions and trying to figure out, well, what does that even mean? We have such a consumer mindset. So you had people just thinking, well, I thought Amazon was always here. We could order on Amazon, but now it's forcing people to ask the questions of, what does this mean that they're allowing us to sell? And because you are now asking those questions and trying to figure out how to sell on those platforms, you start to go through the process and you see, where Amazon can work for you. But there's a big gap for our entrepreneurs, and you're gonna be able to tell us a bit better than me. But what those big gaps that Amazon comes with that Carob Shopper perfectly slides into. And one of those big gaps when people begin going through the process of figuring out how to sell on Amazon is people soon realize, wait a minute, I was costing about 3% to pay a payment processor per transaction. Where are all these fees coming from? And then they start to realize that there's a lot of financial commitment that goes into utilizing the Amazon platform, so I know that is a big area for Carob Shopper that you guys have solved. And again, you touched on it just now, but not wanting to put the entrepreneur in debt before they even get started is huge, because I don't know how else we succeed if we don't have that flexibility to be able to do that.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, right? So again, not to be compared with Amazon, right? But understand the vehicle, do your research, right? You can't want to win without doing the work, and that's any entrepreneur. If you
Yeah.
think entrepreneurism is easy, Keron Rose will tell you the late nights, the reading he has to do, the daily content he has to put out, the sleepless nights, and just everything else that's involved. Do the work. As one of my mentors would say, do the effing work, right? So you gotta do the work, and it doesn't come easy. So
Yeah.
understand the vehicle that you're entering into. Look
Yeah.
what makes sense for your business, right?
Yeah.
Look what makes sense for your vertical. Because I remember the other day I was I was out in no, it was probably it's not the other day, it's 3 years ago. I was out in what's that state called? Cheese. It's outside of Chicago, the cheese state. Damn it. I'll tell you. Anyway, whatever. I was in a Midwest state. Okay, let's leave it at that, right?
Right.
And
Wisconsin?
yeah, Wisconsin. I was in Wisconsin
Right.
3 years ago. And I sat down in a meeting, I was talking, and said I was from Jamaica, and this guy said, listen, man, I'm a big griller, right? And I go to Amazon and I buy pimento wood from this guy that exports it from Jamaica. And I get
Right.
straight pimento wood from Jamaica. And that's what does my pig. And that's what does my what's their favorite pulled beef,
Pulled pork.
whatever. Yeah, or their steaks, right?
Right.
He talking all about pimento wood, but we couldn't. Carib Shopper couldn't move pimento wood, but pimento wood is like everywhere, right?
Right.
You could become an entrepreneur by farming pimento wood and selling it on Amazon to people who are big barbecue guys, right?
Right.
There's a vertical for everybody. I'm just giving that as an example,
Yeah.
right? So know the vehicle, understand it, do the work, and there's a big differentiation, right? Carib Shopper is focused on helping and building merchants, both small, medium, and large, right? Getting them into the digital world.
Yeah.
If you're an entrepreneur and you want to resell a product, you want to become an influencer because you have a good following, you want to, resell something, go right ahead. Yeah, thanks, Kerry. Brisket, right? So it's there's different flavors to this, and like I said, excited.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I mean, I see my guy Keneal. He's from Jamaica as well. He's talking about affiliates, and yes, Amazon is the biggest affiliate partner. So again, there's opportunities for people who might not sell a physical product, but being able to just get into affiliate marketing. If you're a content creator, earning affiliate commissions. Again, those things are huge that are going to be able to help you grow. And if you are somebody that has a physical product and maybe you don't have the resources or you don't want to make the financial commitment to get on Amazon, listen, jump on Carob Shopper, build your business there, grow that and start to generate money. I think people when they're starting their business, they look at where they want to be, and if they can't start where they want to be, they get hung up on just not starting anything at all.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to get past. Do what you can do right here, right now with what is available to you, right?
Yeah.
And Carob Shopper is a growing platform. Just being able to get your products to them. And touch on that for me. How does the entrepreneurs, how do we get our products to you? What is that process like?
So depending on what country in, right? The entrepreneur, the sign up process is directly on caribshopper.com, right? It's become a merchant, right? After you fill out that process, our merchant success team, contacts you and works with you to get your products on. But at that point, we make a decision whether your product, there you go, become a merchant. Boom, there you go, right there, right dead center, become a merchant. You fill that process out, and very quickly, you you're able to get onboarded. We work with you to make sure, like we said, your product imagery, your descriptions are done properly. And depending on your type of product, we'll hold it in our fulfillment center, whether in Trinidad or Jamaica, or you'll get that sweet feeling of that email notification saying, you just sold this item, and you have 24 to 48 hours to get it to our fulfillment center, which we have a network locally to facilitate that and make that available.
Right.
So, um, simplifying and providing efficiency around it is what we're aiming to do, and we understand the challenges of the markets that we're getting into, and that's the difference. We understand it, we live it.
Let's take a browse through the website, right? So all of the prices are available there. All of the prices are in US dollars. So I know there are going to be some people that want to understand, the pay structure. How does Carob Shopper make their money because there's no listing fees, and how do they get paid?
Simple, right? When we looked at disruption, Keron,
Right.
and this is getting deep into it, how was exports done over the last 20 years? Tell me.
How is it done? Well, I've never exported a product, so I can't. I'm not the best person to ask, but I would imagine I would have had a product. I would have had to have gone into FedEx and have them weigh it.
No. Exports are done via distribution.
Okay.
Right? So you make a product, right? And then you're going to have to find a distributor to go and sell your products to outlets internationally.
Right.
Got it?
Right.
And if you're not selling enough quantity, you can't get on that distributor. So
Mm.
if you're not doing at least half of a container or a container of product,
Right.
distributors are not going to take you on, right? So
Right.
there's a barrier to entry. So we're disrupting that market very slowly,
Right.
and I should have said that, but it is what it is.
Right.
Um, because we're giving you an option that you don't have to go through hubris procedures to get distribution. And I encourage any manufacturer, if you're ready for distribution, go for it too, because it's another level.
Right.
But we ask our merchants to list at wholesale prices, and we
Right.
work with and mark up to retail prices in the market that we're selling their product to, whether
Right.
it be US or Canadian market, and we take that the difference, right? So no different than if they were to list, put their products in a Massy store or a True Value store or um, any of the major retailers in Jamaica or Trinidad. No different.
Right.
But the difference here is we absorb the cost of logistics, payment processing, and payment remittance to you, and we also support your build out. As you can see, everything on the site is uniform. That didn't happen by chance.
Right. I'm liking it, and that's why as we're talking, I'm going through it to people who are prospective merchants looking to get on the platform, have an idea as to what to expect. But then we also have some people who are consumers from different countries that are looking at this, saying, "Yo, I think I want to purchase. It looks good. I want to jump on this platform to purchase." So
Right.
to pick up where you left off, paying out in U.S. dollars. Talk to us about that. Paying out to the merchants in the U.S. dollars.
Well, it's a very simple decision, right? And like I said, there's one qualifying part. There's a one qualifying part here for the merchants. They have to have a U.S. based account, whether at their local bank or internationally, right?
Right.
They got to be able to receive U.S. dollars. We did that because we want to give our merchants, again, the most competitive advantage they can. Half the time, they're buying their raw materials in US, right? There is a cost. A lot of times they got to do black market. That affects their margins. That affects their profit. So if
Right.
we sell to an international market, we can now provide that as a benefit to our merchants.
Wow. Listen, I'm upset that I can't buy some of this Yachty CBD oil and have it delivered to me right now. I have aching joints.
It's coming, brother. It's coming. CARICOM is coming.
I'm waiting for that. And there's something that you guys are really really proud of, and I know Carrie's on the live. And this is one of her passion projects. Talk to us about this bad boy right here.
Ah, or gift boxes, right? So every
Talk about
month,
it.
I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it. It's been a hit. Again, being deliberate about your actions as an entrepreneur, right? The market is not just a diaspora for us. The market is expanding that into different markets. We want Jewish people to be buying Caribbean products and who have never taken a plane and come into the region, right? How
Right.
do we get that done? By making attractive boxes, put them together to fill people's curiosity, right?
Right.
um, and so you'll start to see more boxes loaded, and we're testing different boxes, we're mixing products and making it benefit our manufacturers, and we're pushing this in commercial environments and direct to consumer. We're finding that these curated boxes are helping to open up the market to people outside of the diaspora, right?
Right.
Because that's the goal, right? Because when you have somebody who in Wichita never been to the Caribbean, I have a story. Um, we um, we picked up a, a company, a spa company from Missouri, never been to the Caribbean, never. They just saw one of our ads, saw one of the products that we did, tried one, and is now actively selling it out of their spa for skincare. One of our
Right.
top selling skincare products. They're selling it in Missouri of all places, and
Wow.
this is non-Caribbean. And that just, when I keep on seeing them buy in bulk this
Right.
product, I'm like, is this a store? I was like, let's dig
Right.
into this more. I need to realize what's going on here.
Right.
Come to find out, it's a spa. They tried it. They got it shared to them by a friend, and somebody vouched for it. They tried it, and now they're selling it out of their spa right now for skincare. you
Wow.
know that's a big deal for me. That's when we start to see the hard work that my team and everybody's putting in to
Right.
really grow.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's huge. So what I want to do is, I mean, we're just browsing to the website. Anybody, if you guys tuning in live, if you have questions, start to put your questions into the chat box now, and we will get those answered. The phone lines are officially open, so if you want to call in, you guys can call us either on WhatsApp or direct, and the phone number is 868-737-4358. That number is 868-737-4358. And you know what? I feel like I'm gonna have to get a graphic done so you guys can see it. But I'm gonna just blow it up for you guys. So if you guys want to call in, you can call in on WhatsApp, or you can call in direct, 868-737-4358, and we'll take your questions. Or you can drop your questions into the chat, and we will respond to your questions as well. So, Kaden, what is on the platform? What is one of your favorite parts on the platform? What is that thing that gets you most excited that you see on the platform?
Hmm. If I was to pick, um, hmm, it's a good question. I think there's so many aspects of it that I can't pick any one. I gotta be honest with you.
I'll tell you this. I love the fact that everything is uniform. It's clean. I didn't understand it when I first moved here, but I understand when people say, man, this doesn't even look like it was built in the Caribbean because it looks so good. Which is a stereotype that we have to change, because so much amazing quality products and services do come out of the Caribbean. But I just love how the platform looks extremely clean. I love the fact that you guys have innovated with the curated boxes. Is this something that people could take on subscription? Like, is there a subscription service for the curated boxes where every month somebody gets like a curated package? Is that a service you guys offer on a subscription?
No, we're riding slow right now. We trying to build up. We're building. We're not trying. We're building. The growth of it, and then eventually we'll offer subscription. Right.
Right.
It's everything in its time, and building with effect. Is where we're at.
All right, all right. So we have a couple of questions that just popped in. So let us take a look. So the first one is from Stevio Selfio. Asked, does Carob Shopper integrate with WePay?
Why? Yes, we do. We pay out through WePay in Trinidad, and as their big launch coming up in Jamaica, we will be doing that also.
Mm, sounds like some big plans. Sounds like some big plans at WePay. Michelle asks, I have one of my products made outside and shipped to me in Trinidad, and I brand it locally. From listing so far, I gathered that I don't qualify.
So, Michelle, good question. That is actually incorrect, right? So we had to specify this. Caribbean owned, right? Are you Caribbean? You live in Trinidad. You're making a product for the Caribbean community. That's one qualifying factor. And the second qualifying factor is that some part of that product is being done out of the Caribbean. And we have manufacturers, interestingly, that manufacture in Miami, but they're focused on the Caribbean region and they're from Caribbean descent. that's a part of our culture. So you do qualify, Michelle. We look forward to meeting you and working with you to get your products on.
Perfect, perfect. And Michelle had actually messaged me. I think yesterday, asking about Amazon. So this would be. I'm actually glad she jumped on, because this is a great option for her to get her products that she makes into the U.S. market. Because I know that's why she was looking to jump on Amazon. So you might have just took one from Bezos, Cadian.
Hey, that's a big one to take one from, man. So I'll take that.
Kenea's out of Jamaica. He said, "Did I miss the amount of countries that Carob Shopper is in?"
So countries that we're in currently is Jamaica and Trinidad that we're exporting from, and we're in the U.S. market, and we're opening back Canada. I want to say very shortly. We're excited about that.
Great.
And then, we expect to be in two other countries in the Caribbean uh, by we're gonna start working on it in October of this year. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, and we're excited about that. Had our first meeting about one of the islands, and that's a big mammoth of a task. So looking forward to that, man. Looking forward to that.
Do we get any hint? Do we get any hint? Can you tell us what kind of soca music they listen to, or what their national dish or national rum?
So I'll hint it this way, because if I said any of those questions, they would be easy giveaway. I'm just gonna say this, that they're the next two big cultures out of the region, and it's specific strong cultures out of the region. So I'll leave it at that.
Cheese on bread.
Boom, bang, bang, connect.
Yo, I love it, folks. Drop your questions in. We're now into the Q&A session time. It's so funny, man. Whenever you're having a great conversation, the time flies. The fact that we even hit the hour and 15-minute mark, it only feels that we've been talking for half an hour. But again, conversation's been going good. So, folks,
it's time we break out the jack now, bro. It's time we break out the jack.
Yo, if you guys want to call in live and ask your questions live, 868-737-4358. Let me just put that number up for you guys again so you guys can see it. 868-737-4358. You guys can call in via WhatsApp or call in directly. We're taking your calls live, and you can ask your questions to Katie in live. If you don't want to call in but you have a question, definitely drop it into the chat. We'll bring it to the stage. We'll get it answered for you. Tonight, we're talking about, Caribbean product exportation. We've talked about how Carob Shopper is solving a lot of the issues that plague Caribbean businesses, from getting online, receiving payment, and moving their products into the U.S. market. If you've also been, hearing about Amazon, we've touched on, what Amazon means to the Caribbean and some of the gaps that are presented. People right now are guessing what that next country is. Oh boy,
I like it. I like it. You know what? Let's just put the question out to the audience. Like, what two other countries should we be going into the beginning of fourth quarter? Let's hear what everybody is saying. Let's run our poll, Keron. Let's run this poll.
Yeah, let's see. So I'm a guess. I'm gonna get it started. I would guess, I would guess Barbados, and I would guess St. Vincent.
Vinci, woo!
Yeah.
Right,
I hear Vinci has some good vegetables. Some good herbal vegetables. Let's see. Riri says, feeling it's Barbados and Grenada, my guess.
She got one right. I'm not letting out the hat.
All right. So we got one. I'm guessing Erica's asking, what about the UK? Are we exporting to the UK? What are the plans?
Erica, first quarter 2022, we're gonna handle Brexit.
First quarter 2022. That's a few months away.
Hey, it time to wait on no man, yo.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Quasi asks, can a Trini get paid in Jamaican currency? The man wants that JMD.
Man, Quasi asked me a hard question. The answer is no, brother. You're going to have to check out WePay for that. That's currency conversion right there, brother.
The man wants, I don't know what you're going to do with it, but the man wants JMD.
Hey.
Yeah. Wendy says Barbados. Stevie O says definitely Barbados. Keneal's asking, there is an export expo in China every year. Have you heard of it? Are you going to be a part of that?
I think the only show we're going to this year, Keneal, and thanks for that info, is the e-commerce conference in it's not in Vegas, it's in Chicago this year. I think that's the only expo we're going to this year. But China, maybe next year, brother.
Michelle says Guyana and Guyanese people want their pepper pot. They want their chicken curry. Right. They want their chicken curry. I don't know what chicken curry is. It's curry chicken. Erica says great, because I'm guessing Erica's looking to move some products into the UK.
That's right.
Nebert is saying Barbados and Grenada.
Backside Grenada getting up on the poles there, man. Barbados getting on the poles.
There's a lot of Grenadians in Trinidad. Apparently, Quasi really wants that Jamaican dollar. Yeah. So, guys, again, we have a few more minutes. So, if you have your questions, drop them into the chat. If you guys want to call in, definitely give us a call. 737-4358. If we at least take one phone call, that'll be dope. If not, drop your questions into the chat and let's get them answered for you guys. So what, in the meantime, what's next? What can you let out the bag? What is the next, thing that you're excited about for Carob Shopper?
I think the big thing is as we improve on our customer experience, right? Digging into adding more value to the merchants in some of the things we're going to come out with very shortly is going to be a game changer for us, right? We're looking to extend, our project Grow Local, which was the original idea of Carob Shopper, right? Into an actual what's the right term for it? An actual masterclass for merchants to be better at e-commerce, right? And we're going to look at different areas. So we're working on that, and we're getting close to that. And the day that we get to launch that, it's going to be, that information that you talk about, Keron.
Yeah.
It's imparting that, and that would be as our give back to the region, right? And of course, there's a benefit to us, but there's an overall benefit to manufacturers altogether, right? And executing on that is something that we started in 2020. We tabled as we saw the landscape shifting, and as we move towards getting into the fourth quarter of 2021, it's something that is top and key of mind to staff members and a team.
Right.
To have a team that believes in our goals, as we have a heavy lift ahead of us, Keron. So
right.
Being able to do that and execute on that is something that is very important to me, and I'm looking forward to that. So I'll probably give you the exclusive.
Well, of course, things had a bus. Things had a bus on Digipreneur Live.
Yes, sir.
No, that's perfect. And you know what? I think we have we've answered the questions that have come in. So if there's any questions further for Carob Shopper, what is the best way to reach out to a Carob Shopper member or even yourself if they have any questions regarding Carob Shopper?
So real quick, Carib Shopper, go to our website. You see hello at Carib Shopper, contact us. There's a phone number there, an email contact, or you can chat with our customer success team and ask, any of the questions that you need answered. You can all, everybody, please go follow Carib Shopper at Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And there you can send us a DM, or you can, reach out to me on LinkedIn or on Instagram for business related items. Definitely, we're here to answer your questions.
Perfect. Katie, and I want to thank you once again for taking the time.
By the way, Keron, do me a favor. Reach out to me for business related items.
Yo, the last time Cadian came on and we talked to him, people wanted to put Cadian in trouble. They wanted to put the man in trouble, reaching out to him. Well, it was business too. They wanted Cadian to sign up for the walk.
Anyway.
Nah, that's dope, man. Cadian, again, thank you once again for taking the time to come and speak to the Digipreneur family. You have a platform, you have a major solution that's going to be critical for us to grow our business. And we have so many product makers across the region. And I can't wait to see the next countries that you onboard, because, on the program we have watchers and listeners from around the region. And the first thing they always ask is, when are we going to get some love out in, Barbados or St. Vincent or Grenada and whatnot? But again, thank you for taking the time out. If you guys have any questions, definitely get in touch with Carob Shopper. I implore everybody who is a product maker in Jamaica and in Trinidad, get your products on the platform. It costs you nothing to get started, but it will give you everything once you play your cards right. So, Caden, do you have any closing remarks for us before we close out today's show?
Yeah, my closing remarks is cultural commerce. It's the next move. We have to develop our cultural confidence. We have to grow, and the digital transformation is inevitable for the region, and we want to play our part. So, we're here, and we're going to do this together. Let's make it happen.
Perfect. Katie and Preston.
Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The people should start calling you the Joe Rogan of the region. That's what you are.
We're trying you. We're trying to get there. We're trying to get to that Joe Rogan.
No, it's not trying. You're getting there. No trying. You're getting there.
I receive that. I receive all of that.
No trying. You're getting there.
All right. Thanks again, Cadian. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. The replay is going to be available if you happen to miss it. The replay is going to be available, as soon as we log off. You're going to be able to watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, any of the platforms that we are streaming live on. The replay is going to be available as well. We have another program coming out on Thursday, so stay tuned for the details tomorrow as we launch that the flyers and the artwork out on that show on Thursday. But we have another program then, and this interview is also going to be on the Digipreneur FM podcast. So if you guys, you guys are on the treadmill, if you guys are driving, you guys are doing some other stuff, you're going to be able to listen in to the show during the podcast as well. I want to thank all of you for sticking with us, tuning in, dropping your questions, giving us your feedback. Before we go, please drop some flames in the chat. Let me know that you guys are here. Let me know that you enjoyed today's program. Drop some flames in the chat. I love to see when you guys give us that energy and let me know that you guys are here. So until Thursday night, 8 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, if you're out in the yard, that's going to be 7 p.m. for you. We're going to have another program then. And again, the replay will be available after this. All right. So thanks again, folks. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Keep good. Get your products on Carob Shopper. Start to sell your products. All right. It's Keron Rose. I'm out. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.